Hello everyone. So today we'll be discussing about the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012, and we will be dealing with chapter 7 and 8 of the said act. Okay. So the chapter 7 of this act talks about the special courts. The designation of the special courts is dealt in section 28 of this chapter. So, for the purpose of providing a speedy trial, the state government shall, in consultation with the Chief Justice of High Court, by notification in the official gazette, must designate a court of session for each district to be a special court to try all the offences which are given under this act. And the section 29 of this act talks about the presumption as to certain offences. Where a person is prosecuted for committing or abetting, committing means when the actual commission of the crime is done, or abetting, which means when the provocation is given to the another person for the commission of the crime under section 3, which talks about the penetrative sexual assault on a child in this particular act itself, section 5, which talks about the aggravated penetrative sexual assault on the child, section 7, which talks about the sexual assault, section 9, which talks about the aggravated sexual assault of this act. The special court shall presume that such person has to be committed or abetted or attempted to commit the offense as the case may be, unless the contrary of the same is being proved. Now, the section 30 of this act talks about the presumption of culpable mental state. Now, in any prosecution for any offense under this act, which requires a culpable mental state, which basically means the guilty mind, on the part of the accused, the special court shall presume that the existence of such mental state, but it shall be a defense for the accused to prove the fact that he had no such mental state with respect to the act charged as an offense in the prosecution. So this mental state is basically here in the defense to the accused person, where he has to prove that there was the loss of intention or such mental state in the part of the offender. A fact is said to be proved only when the special court believes it to exist beyond a reasonable doubt. So the culpable mental state here is talking about the intention, the motive, the knowledge of the fact, and the belief or reason to believe of that particular fact. Now, the section 31 of this act talks about the application of Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 to the proceedings before the special court. The provision of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, including the provisions of as to the bails and the bonds, shall apply to the proceedings before a special court. And for that purpose of the said provision, the special court shall be deemed to be a court of session, and the person conducting a prosecution before that special court shall be deemed to be a public prosecutor. And now, the section 32 of this act talks about the special public prosecutors. Now, according to this section, a state government shall, by notification in the official gazette, appoints a special public prosecutor for every special court for conducting cases only under the provisions of this particular act. Now, the chapter 8 of this act talks about the procedure and the power which are given to the special courts, and the recording of evidences are also dealt in this particular chapter. So the section 33 of this act talks about the procedures and the powers which are given to the special court. Now, the special court may take the cognizance of any offense upon receiving a complaint or the police report. Now, while recording, the questions must clearly be put to the respective child. The breaks, if required, to the child must be provided during the trial. Now, special court must create a child-friendly atmosphere. Special court must also ensure that the child must not be called again and again in the court. Dignity of the child must be maintained throughout the trial. Identity of the child must not be disclosed during the whole trial. The section 34 of this act talks about The procedure in case of commission determination of age by special courts. Now, where any offense under this act is committed by a child, such child shall be dealt with under the provisions which are given in the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2000 and 2000. Okay. So if any question arises in any proceeding before the special court, whether a person is a child or not, such question shall be determined by the special court after satisfying itself about the age of that particular person, and it shall be recorded in writing its reasons for such particular determination. Now, no order made by the special court shall be deemed to be invalid merely by any subsequent proof of the age of that person as determined by it under subsection 2, which was not the correct age of that person. Now, the section 35 of this act talks about the period for recording of evidence of child and disposal of the case. According to this section, the evidence of the child shall be recorded within the period of 30 days of the special court taking cognizance of that offense, and reason for delay, if there is any, shall also be recorded by that special court. Now, the special court, according to this section, shall complete the trial within the period of 1 year from the date of taking the cognizance of that offense. Now, the section 36 of this act talks about child not to see accused at the time of testifying. Now, according to this section, the special court shall ensure that the child is not exposed in any way to the accused at the time of recording of the evidence. For the purpose of subsection 1, the special court may record the statement of the child through video conferencing or by utilizing single visibility mirrors or curtains or any other device. Now, the section 37 of this act talks about the trial which needs to be conducted in camera. The special court shall try cases in camera and in the presence of the parents of that particular child or any other person in whom the trust or the confidence of the child rests. Now, the section 38 of this act talks about the assistance of an interpreter or expert while recording the evidences of the child. Now, according to this section, wherever necessary, the court may take the assistance of a translator or interpreter having such qualification which is required while recording the evidence of the child. If a child has any kind of mental or physical disabilities, the special court may take the assistance of the special educator or any person familiar with the manner of communication of the child or an expert in that particular field where the disability is, to record the evidence of that particular child. So that's all. Thank you.